Oh well folks, how are we all doing? I'm back out exploring once again, and this time I'm back out at Loch Turret Reservoir. You might recognise it from my previous video. The difference is I was at that side of the reservoir and I'd done a low level camp, probably halfway up it. Not quite got to the end of this reservoir yet, but in the distance you may see Ben Hornsey. Hopefully I'm still in the shot. But you might actually not see Ben Hornsey because I'm in it, so I might actually go over this way. Anyway, it's a cracking view along the reservoir anyway, and as you'll see just in front there's a pretty decent track, and I've heard it's pretty good all the way up to the other side of the reservoir. Yeah, it's just a really nice view, that, and this is the side I really wanted to walk it. You know, I knew that probably that side would be better for low level camping, but if you are going for the hills and mountains like I'm doing today, then probably this is the better side to, you know, walk along. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this. Today night's destination is Auchnafree Hill, which is a corbett just under 800 metres. I think it's about 790 or something like that. I've been up Ben Hornsey before in the summer. It's a cracking view. I don't know why people call that a boring maneuver, because it is anything but. You know, the views are great, and even the drive in, I've always enjoyed the countryside scenery that Ben Hornsey and Loch Turret offer. So yeah, if you're ever in Scotland and you're thinking of places to visit that's not too far from Edinburgh and Glasgow, then yeah, definitely consider this area. Anyway folks, I'm going to get along this track now, and I'll catch you a wee bit further along, probably before I start climbing. Alright folks, that's me finally got to the other side of the reservoir now, and that is some view, isn't it? Wow, you've got to take that in, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a quick bite to eat because I think the next bit's going to be quite steep and relentless up to the summit. I'm about 400 metres roughly from the summit here. I'm just over 400 metres. I think the peak is just under 800 metres, so just round it up there. So yeah, an hour and a half I've been on the go. So without all the camping gear and winter gear, maybe in summer, I reckon probably about 50 minutes to an hour and 10 minutes, depending on you know, how fast you can walk really, just to get to this part, and then up to Ben Hornsey or Auchnafree Hill. Yeah, I think as an out and back route, probably both summits, if you were just doing them single, probably about 4 to 5 hours, and then maybe if you were doing it circular, then I'd maybe add another hour on. But yeah, it's been a really enjoyable walk. Another thing worth mentioning, it's quite up and down, but if you're maybe an electric mountain bike, you would definitely get along the path fairly quickly. I think if you didn't have an electric bike, you'd probably have to get off a couple of times for the steeper parts, but you would certainly save a bit of time there as well. Just wanted to mention that. So anyway folks, I'm not sure how much filming I'm going to do now. I've got less than 2 hours daylight. Unfortunately I had to leave a wee bit later in the day. Yeah, a wee bit later in the day, so time's been a wee bit against me. But at least the weather this time is a wee bit better. and the forecast tonight is to be very promising. So hopefully the skies will clear a wee bit tonight, might get some stars, but it's to be a very, very cold one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Well folks, this is the point where I turn off that nice little track there, which was quite steep, but yeah, I did gain height quite quickly. And yeah, basically I now need to head up here where I'm pointing up towards the Corbett. I've only got about 60 or 70 metres left of climbing, and I'll be up there, and hopefully the views will be worth it. From up there I reckon I'll see Ben Lawers and Milnan Tarmac and some of the other peaks in that area, just to give you an idea what I'll see up there. But yeah, it's been a great walk so far. 2 hours and 15 minutes I've been on the go. I checked before I started filming, and I've done about 6 kilometres. With a day pack you'd be up there by now, but yeah, with camping gear, yeah, I reckon without all the filming I do, I'll always try and give you a rough idea just in case you ever want to try this yourself, but yeah, I reckon maybe 2 hours to get to the summit from where my car's parked at Loch Turret car park. So yeah, it's a good walk, a good winter walk, and yeah, you can test your fitness as well. Anyway, it's going to get cold up there. There is a slight breeze, maybe about 5 miles an hour, but that's going to be quite cold up there, so just going to stick another layer on. And yeah, I'll catch you when we get up there. Probably stick the wee blue jacket on. If I can get my backpack off. There we go. I knew the waterproof trousers would be at the top. There we go. Well folks, that's me finally reached the top of Auchnafree Hill. This is the summit cairn here. This is about 789 metres I think it is, and it's my 5th Corbett, and it's took me just over 2.5 hours to get here, so not bad at all. And like I said, probably 2 hours for the average day tripper from Loch Turret car park. Now it does offer a feeling of remoteness up here, but it's not too far like I said from the car. It's a pretty decent looking summit for camping as well. I think I'm going to head over in that direction, kind of north of the summit, and yeah, hopefully I'll get a nice view. So yeah, I'm quite tired, so let's get the tent up before it gets dark. Alright folks, so half an hour until it's pretty much dark. I've managed to get the tent up just in time. I've not set up inside the tent like your sleeping bag and that, but don't really care. I'm just going to stop and enjoy the views and just let you see the views with a tent in front of the shot now. Absolutely brilliant from up here. You ever just get that feeling that, you know, you're going to do a hill and you're not sure what to expect, you know, you've not got high hopes. Didn't really have high hopes for this area for camping in terms of the views. I was just looking for somewhere flat to pitch, you know, for the night, somewhere close to home. But I'm really glad I came now. It's such a nice spot for camping. Cracking view of Ben Hornsey just over there. You can see Ben Vorlich over there. I've got the Ben Lawers range right in front as well. Yeah, not a bad spot. And that is a full view of Ben Hornsey, the closest Munro to my house actually, probably. In terms of driving, just over an hour away to the nearest car park, to the Munro itself. 931 metres high, so only just a Munro to be fair. The smallest Munros in Scotland is Ben Vane and Ben Challack at 915 metres in height, although Ben Vane is quite a fair trek. I think you start about 20 metres above sea level, so it's a fair height. And I've done Ben Vane in Arica, and I've also done Ben Challack as well with Monty and Andy, two really nice lads. Of course you'll know Monty. You might actually see Andy in my future videos this summer. He's a nice guy. Met him on Craig Meggie last year. But yeah, not a bad place this, some cracking views. I'm just making the most of the daylight before it gets dark. It's just a shame I wasn't here earlier, but it was a fair walk in, to be fair. At times it was quite steep and relentless, but I'm glad I finally made it up the summit. And I'm actually glad I managed to get a spot on the summit. I was looking at backup spots on the return there, because there's an out and back bit here. Although I do have some other peaks that I want to do tomorrow on the way back to the car, so won't be going back the way I came. I'm going to stick to the higher parts, just to make the walk more interesting for tomorrow. Right, I'm going to go and set up the tent now before it gets dark. So it's tea time now, and this time it is full on wayfarer meals. So I've got beans and sausages, and I've got a nice dessert there as well. What's it say? Salted caramel chocolate brownie. Looking forward to that. It's very rare I have a 2-course meal when I'm going out camping, but I've decided to treat myself for tonight. I'm taking shelter in the tent. It's an absolutely freezing wind. -4 I think it is tonight, or -5 roughly, with a wind chill of over -10. And it's definitely that's for sure. So turn the head torch on as usual. Oh, that's a bit bright. There we go, that's it. Don't want to blind you, do I? Right, okay, jet boil as always. Let's get this set up. Let's pour the water in. Good thing is there's plenty of sources of water down there, so you don't need to carry water in from the car, and it's very clear water, which is nice. I'm going to fill this up all the way. I'm going to try and keep some for tomorrow. The breakfast for tomorrow is a chicken tikka and rice. I know. Chicken tikka for your breakfast. Right, take the gloves off for this bit. There we go, well up quite nicely there. Hopefully this boils nice and quickly. That's the meal inside the jet boil now. Looking forward to this one. Just going to get the fork out. Probably give that about 5 or 6 minutes in there. Right, okay, put that there. So yes, like I said, I'll turn the head torch off. But like I said, it was going to get dark quite quickly. It's 7 PM now. Been up here for about 2 hours. Roughly 2 hours ago I got the tent up. I think it was about 5 o'clock I finally got here, so yeah, it's nice. Like, I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I'm hoping I'm not going to be in the clouds. It's a good forecast for the next 4 or 5 days, yeah, that's why I'm out. I'm just really keen, you know, to make the most of you know, the good weather, which, to be fair, I think we're nearly into March. It's like the end of February now, and this is like maybe the first decent weekend of the year weather-wise. Ben Crookham was good last week, but it wasn't quite good enough for the hills. It was quite windy last weekend, which was a real shame. So yeah, just really happy to be up high. Some good views when I arrived, and like I said, hopefully it'll be good tomorrow. Just waiting for this meal. Starving, like, really hungry. Nice warm meal. Yeah, it's going to be quite good, like. Alright, so I think that will do it. Just turn this off for now. This way. If I could turn it the right way, that'd be a start. There we go, that's it. Right, so beans and sausages. Can't wait for this. Always enjoy beans and sausages from Wayfarer. Pack's nice and warm. This can only be a good thing. So I'll have this and I'll come back to you, I think. I've got the pudding to make as well, so yeah. Nice wee treat for tonight from Wayfarer. Oh no, if I can open the pack, that is. Wow. Dear. Right, I'll catch you in a bit. Alright, so back out with the jet boil. That beans and sausages was really nice. But I'll tell you what, it's really freezing like. So the quicker I do this the better. I just want to get back in the tent and heat up again. Yeah. Not the warmest. Very cold. That wind chill's brutal. So looking forward to this. Salty caramel chocolate brownie. Doesn't really push down to the bottom of the pack as well as the beans and sausages do, right enough, but I'll just put it in as the way it is then. Good thing is I'm reusing the water, which is already pretty hot. The only problem is I'm struggling to get the actual meal in, so I'm just going to put a wee bit more water in. Just going to squeeze it. I need to keep some water for tomorrow, like I said, I might be having that chicken tikka and rice. Poor planning for myself really. I was going to have the beans and sausages for breakfast, but I decided to have the beans and sausages for dinner. So that's my poor planning. Yeah. I should have probably brought 3 Wayfarer meals instead. I had chicken tikka and rice on my last trip, and yeah, I just thought, you know what, try something different, sometimes I don't bother with breakfast in the morning actually. I usually just eat Haribos or something and just get off the hill, but yeah, not sure, because I'm a wee bit away from the car and I've got a couple of hills to do tomorrow, or at least one anyway. I think there's actually 2, but I can't remember. But yeah, I was surprised by how far away this hill actually is from the car. I actually thought it was closer to the reservoir than it actually is. It's actually behind the reservoir with Ben Hornsey. It's kind of in line. Yeah, when I was up Ben Hornsey about 8 months ago, June time, yeah, I'll say about 8 months anyway, and I looked over here, over to this hill, I was like, it does look quite big actually. Didn't realise this was actually Auchnafree Hill, by the way. Yeah, I was always going to do Auchnafree Hill. I was planning on doing it with Ben Hornsey, but because there's actually quite a good circuit you can do, starting from where the car is, which I might do maybe at the end of the year at some point, if I remember. I always find there's a lot of people, they get caught up with the bag end side of things, you know. I went to Ben Hornsey, but I'll not revisit it because that's my bagged it, you know. Whereas I'm like, you know what, if it's a good Minnow or a good Corbett, I'll revisit it, and I'm more than happy to revisit this hill or Ben Hornsey. They're both very good. I don't care what anyone says, they're not boring. They're great for camping. Both have a phone service, and if you're very selective with your route, you can have a really enjoyable trip away, you know. The way I see it is, if you don't enjoy a route up a Monroe, then find another way up it if you ever decide to go back, you know. A lot of people, and Walk Highlands is handy, I use it myself, but a lot of people feel they need to stay confined to just the Walk Highland route. Whereas I'm starting to look at other routes as well. This is actually a Walk Highland route that I'm doing today. They're just very convenient, Walk Highlands. I actually think the way the people run the website, it's just brilliant, you know. The fact they show the start point for each walk as well, it's a direct link to Google Maps, and all you need to do is just press directions and it just takes you straight there. That way you know you're not going to get lost, or you're not going to miss the car park that you're meant to be parking at. So that makes a big difference actually, you know. Just making sure the stove is on there. Yeah, that makes a big difference. You know, just makes the drive easier, but yeah, it just frustrates me when people moan about the Monroes. You know, don't think there's a boring Monroe. Some are better than others, like, but each walk I've done, I've enjoyed it, and each Monroe seems to be unique in their own way, you know. So yeah, I notice I keep saying, you know. Now that this meal's starting to heat up, it's starting to push into the stove, which is what I wanted. I can put the lid on it now and hopefully that'll cook it a wee bit quicker, or heat it a wee bit quicker. Alright, so it's time to have something to eat. As you can see, I've moved inside the tent. It's just too cold out there. I was really struggling. This pack is absolutely roasting. I'm actually struggling to hold it, so that's a good sign. It means the cake will be really warm inside. Hopefully I can open this pack all the way this time. Come on. Almost worried about spilling it everywhere. Oh, there we go. Oh, getting that. I'm more worried about spilling it everywhere. Because I'm inside the tent and underneath me is my sleeping bag and I don't want to cover it in food. Anyway, I'll come back to you once I have this and I'll let you know what I think of it because it's the first time I've ever had it. But yeah, let's have a little look inside, see how much I've got. Oh, there we go. Yeah, looks like I've got a decent amount inside there. Looking forward to this. Alright folks, so I'm going to wrap up the video right here on the summit cairn of Auchnafree Hill. I've finally decided to get back out of the tent. It's absolutely freezing. The tent's frozen, just basically everything's frozen. But it's a beautiful clear night and there's not really much wind, probably 1 or 2 miles an hour. But there's like no movement at all in the tent. So I hope you've enjoyed today as much as I have. It's been quite a journey just getting up here. And yeah, hopefully it'll be a nice morning, so I'll see you then. Good night. Well, good morning everyone, and it's got to be said, I've not had a morning like this on top of a hill for quite some time. It's so calm, pretty much no wind, and it has been like that all night, although -5 it got down to last night, and it feels like about -8 or 9 at the moment. I'm just glad it's not too windy, that would be a brutal wind chill. But yeah, really nice morning. Just a shame about the clouds just behind. It's blocking out the sunrise, but the further north you look, the clearer it gets, which is absolutely stunning because I can see some of the peaks in the distance, getting a nice bit of sun hitting the snow-capped mountains, which is really nice. But yeah, overall it has been a pretty good trip. I think overall it has been possibly one of my nicest wild camps away in probably a year. You know, I had some really good solo camps at the start of last year, which are on my channel. You'll see them if you've not seen them already. So if you are a new viewer and you want to see some of my older trips, and certainly between February and April last year, some of my best ever videos were made then. But yeah, hopefully I can repeat basically what I did last year this year, but continue into the summer, which I didn't do last year. But as I've said before, this is my favourite time of the year to go camping. Just think, if you get the weather for it, that perfect balance of daylight. It's daylight for about 6:30 now on a clear morning. Even when it's a miserable morning, it's about 7, so it's not bad at all. And I'm surprised by the lack of snow, but as I've said before, even on the higher peaks like Ben Law's over there, still plenty of snow on it. So if you do want winter conditions, you just need to go higher. Ben McDough, Ben Nevis, Bray Reich, places like that, you'll get snow. But if you don't want snow, then just take your chance. Places like this might be the answer. Still high enough to get a good camp. Anyway, I'm going to go back to my tent and yeah, get the thumbnail done probably. Oh, if I don't trip over the cairn. I think it's got to be said, standing from my tent looking over to Ben Lawers, it's definitely the best view up here. It really, really is. It's nice. I guess Ben Hornsey as well, just over there. It's very impressive looking from Ben Hornsey from here. You know, I've always liked camping on the smaller hills or the smaller peaks, whilst there's a bigger peak next to it, because it just shows like just how big the Munros actually are in Scotland. You know, when you see them up a wee bit higher up and you're just looking at them. A good example is when you're on Ben List and you're looking over to Stob Gerrard. Oh, what a size Stob Gerrard is. Need to go back there and camp at that spot again this year at some point. Whether it's this side of the summer or next winter, towards the end of this year, we'll see. But yeah, I just find it really impressive. Alright folks, so while we're taking the view over to Ben Hornsey, I think it's time to give this place its location rating out of 10 for wild camping. This specific place that I'm camping as always, and I'm going to give it an 8.4 out of 10, which puts it into the very good category. And the reason why I'm doing that is simply because it's just a perfect summit for camping. You've got so many flat places to pitch, and yeah, the grass is not too long up here, so it's not bad at all. It's just wee patches of grass kind of dotted around. You'll definitely find somewhere, and it's just a cracking view up here. You've got Ben Lawers in the distance there, as I've mentioned, Meilnan Tarmacan. Obviously Ben Hornsey's got a wee bit of sun on it now, hopefully the camera's picking that up over there. What I've not really mentioned is you can also see Ben Vorlich, which will be out of shot. You can see the back end of Ben Vorlich, which is really, really nice too. So yeah, it's a fantastic place to go camping, and I highly recommend it to anyone who wants to go wild camping. Even if it's just a day trip, this would be quite a nice easy walk as well, with a lighter backpack. It took me just over 2.5 hours to get up here roughly yesterday, so like I said, about 2 hours, and most people will get up to the summit from the car. So not bad at all guys. It's took me by surprise. I wasn't expecting much here if I'm honest, but yeah, 8.4 out of 10. Not bad at all. Alright folks, so that's me finally in the mood to start packing my gear away now and getting off. It's been such a quick trip, I've got to say. This is the bit I least look forward to doing, the pack up, because it's time consuming at times, and it means it's pretty much the end of another camping trip for me. I'm not looking forward to this descent back down to the car. I am going to do the high level route over the other peak, and then I think it's just downhill from there. I feel like if I went along Loch Turret again, it would just kind of drag a wee bit, and it's probably slightly busier on the low level paths, so I'll stick to the higher ground. But yes folks, I'm going to pack away the tent now, and I'll catch you once I've done that, and we'll wrap this video up. Well folks, that's me finally heading back down to the car after what has been a brilliant trip away. From the flat summit views of Ben Hornsey and Ben Lawers to even that walk in yesterday along Loch Turret, which was a bit of a slog, but yeah, enjoyable at the same time. And if you are doing Auchnafree Hill or Ben Hornsey, I would recommend using the Loch Turret track. Just go either side if you want, because obviously I've been at the other side of Loch Turret for a low level camp, and that was nice as well. So anyway folks, I'm going to wrap the video up here. It's a bit of a descent back down to the car, as you would have seen. I've just got to reverse it now. It was a bit of a steep slog. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the other peak, which you might see behind me, I'm not sure. But I'll see how I'm feeling when I get down, and if I'm not feeling up to it, I'll just descend and then go along Loch Turret again. But yeah, I'm going to wrap the video up here. So I do hope you've enjoyed it. Maybe give me a thumbs up if you have. Possibly subscribe to the channel for future camping trips. And yeah, until the next trip, take care.